Okay, imagine this. A 12-year-old, Northwest, completely transforms her look online. We're talking temporary face tattoos, glittery blue braids, a fake septum piercing, black grills, the works.
And almost immediately, her dad, Kanye West, one of the most famous people on the planet, reportedly just explodes.
Yeah, accuses his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, of, quote, sexualizing their daughter.
And this isn't just, a private disagreement. We're hearing about alleged threats of legal action over North's public image. It's intense.
It really was a shocking escalation. The makeup, well, that might have washed off, but the controversy, that definitely didn't fade.
No, it immediately revealed this really deep post-divorce conflict where the child's image isn't just out there. It's basically the main battleground.
Welcome to Starscope Report.
We are diving deep today.
Join us as we break down Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and yeah, influencer scandals like this one. Today, it's all about the complex, really conflicting stories around Northwest and what some are calling the Kardashian Parenting Paradox.
And you were probably going to be surprised by the evidence that was, well, hiding in plain sight all along.
Right. We found the crucial context North herself put right in the post's caption context the public just totally ignored.
Totally. Plus, we'll pinpoint the exact moment Kim Kardashian, maybe unintentionally, undermined her own defense.
And we'll uncover a private regret Kim apparently expressed about her parenting style that seems to completely contradict her public stance of, creative freedom.
Okay, let's get into it. This flashpoint moment in October 2025, the videos pop up on the joint Kim and North TikTok account.
And they show North, apparently while at a Samsung concert, with this really detailed aesthetic transformation.
Yeah, it wasn't just playing dress up. This was a look.
Yeah.
A whole stylized statement. Sources detailed everything.
Like the temporary face tattoos?
Exactly. A star under one eye, her name in cursive script on her cheek.
Paired with black grills, those bright blue contact lenses.
Dramatic fake lashes, glittery blue braids, and even a diamond-studded Vivienne Westwood chain. I mean, it was designed to look extreme.
But here's where it gets fascinating. The public reacted purely to the image, right? They completely skimmed over the text.
The key detail, buried under all the outrage, was Northwest's own caption.
What did it say?
Simply, fake piercings and fake tats for life.
Okay, so she explicitly framed it herself as performative, temporary, basically art.
Precisely, like developmental play or dress-up, just elevated. But the public reaction, it was immediate and overwhelming judgment.
They did not care that the tattoos were fake. They saw poor parenting. Instantly.
The criticism was really intense.
Okay.
Specific comments like age 12, poor parenting, or lost the child in her a long time ago. Even just, this is scary.
And they immediately tied it back to her dad, didn't they? That rhetorical question, what in the Kanye West is happening?
Yeah, so this temporary look gets interpreted by the public as some kind of sign of, I don't know, permanent moral failing or this tragic loss of childhood.
So Kim's response to this whole firestorm is interesting. Instead of some long, drawn-out statement.
Right. She went for this very concise, almost surgical meta-commentary.
Where did she post it?
Directly in the comment section of a Daily Mail post covering the backlash.
Okay, what was the headline?
Something provocative, like Northwest 12 worries fans with new look.
And Kim's reply from the joint account.
Just 5 words and an emoji. This is such a non-issue, E.
Wow. That's basically dropping a bomb on the whole conversation.
It really is. She's not arguing the details. She's attacking the legitimacy of the criticism itself, denying the public's perceived right, their stake, in commenting on her parenting or North's choices.
It's either incredibly arrogant or maybe incredibly confident. Depends on your view, I guess.
It's a classic celebrity power move, isn't it? If you can't win the argument on the facts, just deny the whole debate has any standing.
But that dismissal, it landed in such stark contrast to Kanye West's alleged reaction.
That's the crux of it. While Kim's brushing it off as a non-issue, Kanye is reportedly furious.
Seeing these mature styles as just totally wrong for a 12-year-old.
Sources claimed his core accusations were pretty clear. Kim was sexualizing North and letting her grow up too fast.
And it apparently didn't stop there.
No, the dispute allegedly escalated quite dramatically. We heard about him sending multiple angry messages.
And even threatening legal action over North's public image. That's serious.
Very serious.
Yeah.
And the sources noted Kim reportedly chose to consciously and repeatedly ignore these alleged threats.
But is his concern really about sexualization? Or is he maybe using the public's own panic to gain leverage in their co-parenting dynamic?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? It does sound like he might be playing to the public gallery, whose moral outrage kind of echoes his own accusations.
It feeds into this proxy war idea. His accusations lend weight to the public backlash, which then validates his private dispute with Kim.
Exactly. It creates this powerful external confirmation for his side of the argument. And while Kim ignored the direct threats, she didn't stay silent. She offered a sort of philosophical defense just days later.
Right, on that October 15th Call Her Daddy appearance, she needed to reframe the whole narrative, didn't she?
She absolutely did. And she framed her choices really positively. Talked about nurturing North's creative side, her individuality, standard stuff maybe.
But then came the strategic part.
The really clever bit. She revealed that North is actually taking up special effects makeup and has been perfecting it in classes.
Wait, so she turned the scary look that freaked everyone out into homework.
Essentially, yes. It's an attempt to reinterpret this whole aesthetic, which critics saw as, rebellion or being too adult, as developing an artistic skill.
Directly countering the too grown-up narrative.
Head on. Suddenly, it's not about bad parenting. It's about supporting a budding artist.
This whole thing just highlights how a child's image becomes the main territory in these high-profile post-divorce conflicts.
And Kanye's accusations mirroring the public critique shows exactly how that external moral panic can be weaponized.
And this pattern of public scrutiny, it didn't just appear out of the blue in October, did it?
Not at all. If you look back at 2025, the public was kind of primed for this reaction because of earlier incidents. This tattoo thing was really the climax.
What were the precedents?
You really have to see the timeline. First, there was the corset mistake back in the summer of 2025.
Oh, right. North was photographed in Rome wearing that corset, miniskirt, platform boots.
Yeah, and the criticism was immediate. Too mature, too sexualized for her age.
And this is the moment that seems to totally contradict Kim's later non-issue stance on the tattoos.
Exactly. Because later on that same Call Her Daddy show, Kim actually conceded the corset was a parenting misstep.
She admitted it. What did she say?
She said something like, okay, we're never wearing that again. She owned it as a mistake.
So by apologizing for the corset, she essentially validated the public's role as judges of what's age appropriate.
Precisely. And that validation completely pulls the rug out from under her later defense of the face tattoos, which were visually way more extreme.
If the public was right to judge the clothes, why are they suddenly hysterical and wrong about the fake tattoos and grills?
That is the core logical contradiction. You can't really have it both ways.
Okay, and there was another incident before the tattoos.
Yes, the ambiguous piercing in September. Criticism erupted over what looked like a dermal piercing on North's finger.
Looked like, so it wasn't clear if it was real.
Exactly. The ambiguity was the whole point.
Yeah.
Was it real? Was it fake? But critics immediately jumped to condemn it.
Assuming the worst.
Pretty much. Citing infection risks, saying she was too young, regardless of whether it was actually a real piercing or just, stick-on jewelry.
The fact that the media and public consistently went for the most negative interpretation, what does that tell us?
It demonstrates what academics might call a hermeneutic of suspicion, specifically when judging Kardashian parenting choices. There's an immediate assumption of the worst-case scenario.
So the piercing must be real, the tattoos must be permanent, the corset is definitely inappropriate because it's the Kardashians. They view everything through this skeptical lens.
It certainly seems that way. And this persistent skepticism, it leads us right into the Kardashian Parenting Paradox.
Which is?
The deep clash between Kim's public defenses, like on Call Her Daddy, and her documented private regrets.
Oh, we have the confident Kim defending nurturing creativity in public.
But then there's this moment caught on tape for the Kardashians back in June 2024 that shows a completely different, much more vulnerable side.
What did she say?
It was quite striking. She was filmed basically lamenting her whole parenting approach. Said she wished she could do it all over, and specifically wished she could be so strict from the start.
Wow. She admitted she wasn't super strict.
Yeah, and she even admired her sister Chloe for being better at setting boundaries.
Okay, so the whole nurturing creativity narrative suddenly looks less like a from belief and more like, well, like a justification made after the fact.
It seems like a potential post hoc rationalization for a more hands-off style that privately she maybe struggles with or even regrets.
So she's fighting this public battle over choices she admits internally she might have handled differently from the get-go.
It really reveals how, in the Kardashian ecosystem, Even something as personal as parenting becomes another brand vertical, subject to public critique, internal conflict, the whole machine.
But we also need to think about the psychology of North herself, the actual child in the middle of this hurricane.
Absolutely crucial. A lot of the criticism calling the look scary, for instance, it's rooted in a cultural script, isn't it?
You mean adults projecting their own fears?
Exactly. Projecting the historical fear of the fallen child star. Thinking about Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, that whole narrative onto North.
They see this edgy aesthetic as, like, the first step towards some kind of public downfall.
It feels like it. And that fear fuels the whole parasocial feedback loop.
Explain that loop.
It's this self-perpetuating cycle. Kim posts the public judges. Kanye apparently uses that judgment to escalate the family conflict. Kim responds publicly. And then the media, like us, debates the response. It just keeps going.
And the public feels this sense of ownership.
A kind of parasocial ownership,
Yeah.
yeah. Like they have a moral stake, even co-parenting rights, just because they've followed the family story for so long.
Which brings us to the ethics of sharenting and that Kim and North joint account.
Yeah.
Is calling it joint genuine agency for a 12-year-old, or is it something else?
Like consent washing. That's the term some ethicists use.
Meaning?
Meaning, is it a strategic move to make parental exploitation look like collaboration? To legitimize putting a child out there by framing it as her choice, her creative expression.
Instead of a potential violation of her privacy or boundaries.
Right. Because there are real questions about a 12-year-old's ability to truly consent to the kind of digital permanence and invasive scrutiny that comes with that level of fame. The joint label is strategically brilliant, in a way. It shifts the focus.
But maybe there's another way to look at North's actions, a final psychological interpretation.
Definitely. The rebellious look that critics immediately link to her father, what in the Kanye West? Maybe that's actually North trying to carve out her own identity separate from both parents.
That's a compelling thought. As celebrity kids get older, their public actions often do become attempts to control their own narrative.
And North's aesthetic here, it kind of bridges both her parents' very distinct brands, doesn't it? You've got the edgy music and fashion vibe often associated with Kanye.
And the extreme high-production publicity machine associated with Kim.
Exactly. So maybe she's creating something new, the Northwest brand, using the materials, the conflicting ideologies provided by her parents, but making it entirely hers, claiming agency.
Okay, so if we pull this all together, the tattoos themselves, literally temporary, maybe a non-issue, just like Kim said.
In a literal sense, yes, but the controversy they sparked, that was profoundly significant, a major cultural moment.
It revealed this unresolved multi-front war being fought over Northwest's public identity.
Fought by parents with seemingly contradictory approaches, and judged by a public that feels deeply, morally invested and entitled to weigh in on every single choice.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider. As North heads deeper into adolescence, her own need for creative expression seems destined to clash more and more with the strategic brand management of her incredibly famous parents.
It positions her, maybe involuntarily, right at the center of the next generation's big debate about privacy, about fame, and about where the boundaries of childhood actually lie in the digital age.
That's a heavy burden for any young person.
Incredibly heavy, especially under that kind of intense spotlight.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncovered the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.